throughout the nation and around the globe. From his heart to yours, it's Dear James Live, bringing you intuitive insight, answers, and advice to your life questions.
Hello, beautiful soul family, and welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights, your home for spiritually guided transformation and empowerment. I am your host, Dearjames, and together with the unseen, Spirit, Source, and Symphony, we look at the current energies, the intuitive wisdom and insights, and we go as guided. Welcome, Heather. We have so much to get to in this episode. Welcome, Kiki. So I'm going to just jump right in because there's so much to cover. So we begin the month of July. It's a 7-month, so it's about legions, army, that we have everything we need and to utilize it with correct discipline. And then we have double ones, double creative force to initiate. So this 711, which we will come to later in the show. 18, it's decay, repair what's spoiled, this remedy, and that ultimately becomes a 9. And it's very appropriate because we've literally just completed the first half of 2026, and there's this Rubicon moment. July is a very powerful month astrologically, universally, and it's as though the end is over. I know it still looks like a dumpster fire out there, but the old is over, the new commences. There's no turning back, because when we cross a Rubicon, it's a no turning back point, and that's a positive thing. That's a good thing. We're working with 2 astrological charts, so let me just bring the first one up. The first one is that Jupiter enters Leo. It entered Leo yesterday on the 30th of June. It will be there for 13 months. And then we're also working with upcoming on the 4th of July. It's the celebration, the 250th anniversary of the United States. On the 4th of July, Mars will conjunct Uranus. They're both in Gemini. This is high octane energy. And so what I heard when I look at all of this, so we've had Uranus square the lunar nodes, that plucking of the cord about the past and the future, the south node, the north node. That occurred on the 12th of June. That was precise or exact on the 12th of June, but it's still playing out for some time to come. We had Chiron enter Taurus. We had the June solstice. Mercury is now retrograde. It will be retrograde until the 23rd of July. We just had the full moon in Capricorn, and now Jupiter enters Leo. Mars will conjunct Uranus. I mean, look at all of that activity and there's a lot here. And as I looked at the 2 charts, so again, Jupiter enters Leo and Mars conjunct Uranus. What I heard from the unseen was looking through the looking glass, and which is a bit Alice in Wonderland, but it's looking through the looking glass. So spiritually, looking through the looking glass represents a shift from observing the surface level material world to exploring the hidden realms of divine truth. There's so much about truth coming to the fore, literally the illusions and everything that has corrupted, the goo, and all of that being burned away. So it's about a shift from observing the surface level material world to exploring the hidden realms of divine truth, higher consciousness, and true self-knowledge. This is about the soul, the wisdom of the soul, of the unseen, the divine, God, the all that is. It signifies an invitation to step beyond illusions and perceive the underlying, often paradoxical nature of reality. There's the truth of where we've been, what we know, where we've been. And then the illusion of what has covered up what is really true. What is our origin? Who are we really? What is our place in the greater arc and destiny and the whole of the whole? and how this is coming to the fore, this looking through the looking glass. It's about the veil of illusion, Maya. In spiritual traditions, the mirror represents the physical ego and the material plane. Looking at the glass means focusing only on your outward identity and worldly circumstances. Stepping through the looking glass means transcending the illusion, often called Maya in Eastern philosophy, to see that the physical world is simply a reflection of deeper spiritual and metaphysical truths. There's often spoken about when you're in the dream state, you're in the real world, and when you awake, you're in the alternate world. Welcome, Alicia. There's this aspect of seeing through a glass darkly. The phrase is historically rooted in 1 Corinthians 13:12, the King James Bible, where the Apostle Paul states, "For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face." This is when we meet our Maker, in the sense meaning when we see the truth of our divinity, of our origin, of our soul, our purpose. Because our purpose isn't the material aspect, that physical material aspect. That's the densest octave of the experience where we manifest, we bring it into physicality, heaven on earth. However, in this, what this scripture, 1 Corinthians 13:12, is talking about is, for now we see through a glass darkly, obscured, illusion. But then face to face, clarity, truth, the revelation, the lifting of the veil, where things become clear. So, ancient mirrors were made of polished bronze and offered distorted, unclear reflections. Human understanding of the divine and ultimate reality is often partial, obscured by the ego, and imperfect. Spiritual growth is the process of cleaning this glass to eventually see ultimate truth clearly. Throughout history, sacred texts like the Epistle of James use the mirror as an analogy for introspection. When you look into the spiritual looking glass, it exposes the exact condition of your soul, your imperfections, your virtues, and your hidden intentions. It challenges you to actively correct what you see rather than simply walking away and forgetting your true spiritual nature. This is about face-to-face, facing ourselves so that we reach a higher octave, that heaven on earth destiny that we all want. We want a utopia, a perfect, meaning pure world, society, self. To do that, we have to face ourselves. We have to know where we've been to know where we're going. Because then we'll know what not to take forward, what not to bring with us. In other words, what to release. In both psychology and mystical theology, who we are is often shaped by how we perceive ourselves through the eyes of others. Spiritually, the looking glass represents seeing yourself as God sees you, unconditionally loved, but also requiring spiritual healing and growth. Saints and mystics often spoke of the divine mirror, where spending time in quiet contemplation allows the soul to reflect the divine light and character, to reflect our true essence, our purity. So this is, again, in facing ourselves, we level up. It's up-leveling. And this is really, it's number one from the unseen. And this is from Star Trek, the USS Enterprise, Captain Kirk. But they said to boldly go where no man has gone before. Be ready to jump, to leap. And of course, this indicates and represents the fool in the tarot. Is to be that wide-eyed, optimistic, youthful innocence, naivety as in willing to let go, willing to move forward. Not that you don't know. It's not naive as in to be ignorant. Naive as in to be empowered, to say yes. So this to boldly go where no man has gone before. Where is that? What are they talking about? What is the unseen talking about? It's our main theme. And our main theme, love this image, an emerging world. There's light at the end of the tunnel. And when you see the sun is rising, there's this beautiful emerging new earth, this new way of being, new octave. And you see on the hill, there's a beautiful like castle on the hill. And there's almost a smaller earth and a smaller castle in the valley below. The one we're leaving, the one we're ascending to, elevating to, leveling up to. This an emerging world. There's light at the end of the tunnel. So to boldly go where no man has gone before, we've never been here before. Humanity has never done this before. This leveling up. And I know how otherworldly this sounds. It doesn't make it any less true. We all chose to be here at this moment. And so this, an emerging world, there's light at the end of the tunnel. Exactly. And Alicia is saying naive as in childlike, no preconceptions. Exactly. That we're rooted in our soul source connection. We're rooted in this knowing, this faith, this trust, because the soul knows true north. That's what it knows. It's pure, its intentions is pure, and it wants us, physical being, human, it wants us, we're the vessel, the body, the vessel for the soul. It wants us, it needs us and wants us to go along true north. Not shadow, not illicitness and everything, but, true north. Harness the shadow for, the purity of the void, for the purity of the light, working in concert with one another. So let's jump into an emerging world. Spiritually, this represents a collective shift in human consciousness. It signifies moving away from fear, materialism, and struggle into an era of unity, intuition, and higher awareness. That is Aquarian, age of Aquarius, matriarchal. Moving away from the materialism and the struggle into an era of unity, intuition, and higher awareness, oneness, wholeness. Often referred to as the new earth, it invites a transformation in how we live, connect, and heal. This is a paradigm shift. It's a whole new octave, energy, way of being. We've crossed the Rubicon. There's no turning back. We're moving forward. How we individually and collectively move forward, get there, that's free will. So we're either in alignment, in flow, or we're struggling and we're swimming upriver. That choice is personal. It's up to us, individually, collectively. But the arc of destiny moves forward. As above, so below. So the spiritual meaning of this global shift involves several core themes. Unity consciousness, a growing recognition that all living beings are deeply interconnected. This moves society away from division and toward compassion and empathy. It's moving beyond the struggle, leaving behind the conditioned belief that success and healing require severe hardship. Instead, the focus shifts to trusting your inner wisdom and living in a natural flow. It's about spiritual emergence, a gradual, positive, personal awakening. It reflects an inward journey where you shed limiting beliefs to discover your true, authentic self and deeper purpose. This is about where we've been is the ego, the I. It's Piscean, patriarchal. It's the creative force. Now it's this spiritual emergence. It's about the authentic self, the soul, coming forward. And what is its deeper purpose? What did it come here to do? What did it say it would do? And allowing that to come to the fore. And lastly, it's global spirituality, a widespread movement toward mystical, inward-focused inward focused faith rather than strict dogmatic religion, emphasizing personal connection to the divine in everyday life. This is Master Jesus at the temple tossing the tables and saying to the Pharisees, "You bar from the people what is rightly theirs." And he said to them, "Go and pray in the closet where no one sees you. Go and speak direct to the Father, to the unseen, to the divine." Well, this is a widespread movement toward mystical, inward-focused faith rather than strict dogmatic religion, emphasizing personal connection to the divine in everyday life. This is your soul source connection. This is the unseen walking with us hand in hand and fine-tuning the dial to actually hear them, receive it. This listen aspect. And it's bringing me, I want to go to, because this is about, it's 711-117. So that you saw the numbers, the energy, 711-117, the Master's Journey. Welcome, Colleen. And how the Master's Journey, so number 2 from the unseen, 711-117, leveling up, the Master's Journey, mastery. And they said, we've only just begun to live. So where we've been pales. It's color versus technicolor. Where we're going is technicolor. And how this is, we've only just begun to live. So the spiritual meaning of the Master's Journey represents the soul's evolution from ignorance to enlightenment. It centers on mastering the ego, realizing divine love, and transcending the material illusion. This path involves inward transformation, where the seeker learns to let go of fear, judgment, and attachment. It's the ego, mind, personality, human that fears. The soul doesn't fear. The soul knows. But the human, monkey mind, all the chatter, because it's based on experience, life experience. When we get stuck there, when we stay on the surface, when we allow an event to occur and we step back, looking through the looking glass, we go deeper, we see the veil of illusion burns away, and what we're left with is the purity of truth. We have to be willing to get to the purity of truth. We have to be willing to look through the looking glass, to go beyond the surface, beyond the material, beyond the experience and the wound. If we don't, it's like we're forever stuck there, because the choice that's being made is to stay stuck with that wound, to allow the wound to dictate, to define, as opposed to refine. So, the concept of the Master's Journey unfolds across these central themes: the dissolution of ego, the true spiritual master, or the journey to becoming one, and this is the Fool in the Tarot, is defined by the surrender of the ego. This requires shifting identity from temporary physical self to a higher universal consciousness, your soul self. It's awakening in stillness. The journey is a process of learning to quiet the mind's continuous noise. It is moving beyond conditioned thoughts to experience pure joy and unity with all living beings. Joy is our key word we're coming to. The guide or guru. In many traditions, this journey is supported by an external spiritual master who holds the spiritual blueprint or acts as a mirror, helping the seeker awaken their own innate divinity and inner mastery, the inner master. Now, this can be someone on the physical plane. Realize and recognize this guide or guru can be your soul, can be the unseen. It can be loved ones that have passed on, angels, guides, the whole shebang. When we're open, we fine-tune the dial, that guidance readily comes in. We have to give the unseen permission, free will. So we have to invite in, we have to say yes. If we don't, divine neutrality, divine neutral. And so Again, if you're in the car, to use a car analogy, you're in the car, the engine's on, the car's in neutral or park, that's where you are. We have to put the car in drive. Well, we have to invite in the guide and the guru. And again, it can be someone in the physical. Just use great discernment. Never give away your power, your inner knowing. Your inner knowing will tell you when something's right or wrong, when it's pure or corrupted, and listen to that. Unconditional love. The culmination of the journey is the embodiment of unconditional love and non-judgment. It represents seeing life from a higher perspective and recognizing that the soul is ultimately on a path back to its divine source. This is all about the journey home. This is about us, separating the fall, coming into an earthly incarnation experience, heaven on earth, to return and to experience while on earth. We have the choice, we have the opportunity, the ability to have a heaven on earth experience. So far, humanity has pursued that ideal. We haven't yet achieved it because we keep falling short. We keep making choices that aren't in alignment with the soul's path, purpose. And so it takes us off course. Well, it's a choice to come back on course. This master's journey, the spiritual meaning of Jesus as the ultimate guide and the master's journey represents the path of discipleship, living with unconditional love, radical self-mastery, and progressive spiritual growth. It is an ongoing call to align one's character with the divine, with the purity of your soul. In the Gospels, followers address Jesus as master or rabbi to signify his authority in spiritual instruction and divine wisdom. Jesus did not simply rule over people, he mastered himself. He humbled himself. He said, the greatest act to lead is to follow, is to humble oneself. And so his mastery came from absolute submission to divine will, what your soul came to do, divine will, demonstrating how to transcend the physical world by walking closely in the spiritual realm. Spiritually, the master represents the ultimate compass. To follow the master is to filter every worldly value, struggle, and decision through his teachings, meaning what Master Jesus represents, the purity of the world, of the word. This is taken outside of religion, the purity of the word, the purity of the teachings. All of that purity is speaking truth to power, to fear, to man, humankind. Paradoxically, the spiritual journey with the master focuses on humility and service. Aquarian, we the people, a tide lifts all boats. So it's about humility and service. And when we're in service, when we're humble and we're in service to the whole, well, what we're putting out, it's already naturally coming back to us. This is that inversion that we've been speaking about for many, many months and longer. True greatness is found in descending into the nature of a servant rather than seeking worldly power. So with great power comes great responsibility. It's why leaders of industry and nations and corporations and peoples and religions and institutions, it should be about seeking and serving the humility and the service, not the power. The power, when we seek power for power's sake, it corrupts. When it's naturally afforded because we're humble and we're serving, we're doing right by our fellow human. That means we're doing right by ourselves. And thereby, it lifts everyone, it empowers, it invigorates, it incites in a inspirational way. The Master walks with believers through everyday life, in their work, families, and neighborhoods. This is the unseen walking with us, Master Jesus, the divine, the unseen. The journey isn't a checklist. It's an intimate daily apprenticeship. The goal of the journey is to adopt the Master's perspective, the purity of it, the humility of it, the service of it, which brings about a utopia, an ideal heaven on earth world, an emerging world. There's light at the end of the tunnel. We're at the peduncle. The peduncle is the neck of a bottle. It's the narrowest point of the bottle, right? Everything in front of the bottle, wide open. Everything after the neck of the bottle is wider, gets wider. We're at that peduncle moment, that tunnel, that peduncle. There's light at the end of the tunnel. We're being forced growth. We're being pushed up and out of where we've been. And I'm just bringing back the main theme, the image, an emerging world. There's an octave of humanity, of the whole of beingness, this new earth, this new octave, new way of being that is being birthed. The old falls away. It collapses. And we can see on the world stage that this is happening, that it's literally imploding under its own weight. And it always reminds me of the person, they step into that, I think they call it the money grab cylinder. And, a person steps in, they've got goggles on, and they turn on the air blower in this cylinder, and money, cash is, and they're just trying to grab. It's gross. It's got this very gross kind of low vibration, because you're so money grubby, you're so trying. This is what we're witnessing. To what point or purpose? Because when the old collapses, it ends. So what you've done, this doesn't last, it doesn't stay. It's taken from you, it falls away. Because a whole new order way emerges. And that old, and it's being awakened in us. This awareness, there is a new way of being, a new way to get things done, a new way to literally live. It's against the backdrop of the deconstruction, but it's emerging. It's coming through, and we're seeing that on the world stage as well. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Let's get to that really quickly. Spiritually, this means and represents divine hope, spiritual transformation, and perseverance. It signifies that a period of adversity, darkness, or spiritual testing is a necessary journey of growth rather than an endless void. Spiritual darkness often represents a time of purging, deep reflection, or trial. The tunnel is the process, while the light is the spiritual awakening or renewed faith waiting on the other side. In many faiths, it is a reminder that you are never walking alone in the dark. The light symbolizes a higher power, inner divinity, your soul, or grace guiding your steps forward. In the realm of spiritual and psychic studies, seeing the light represents the soul's transition, peace, and the crossing over into a divine or spiritual realm. This can have to do with near-death experiences, but it's also talking about this awakening, this crossing over the Rubicon, crossing the Rubicon into a new age, era, world, earth. The metaphor teaches that the only way out is through. You must keep moving forward one step at a time, trusting that the universe and the divine will eventually bring you to a brighter chapter, a higher octave, a new era. So this is an emerging world. There's light at the end of the tunnel, looking through the looking glass. To boldly go where no man has gone before, be ready to jump and leap. It's the Fool in the Tarot. The 711-117. Let me just bring that image up. It's so beautiful. And here, the images of course, the Milky Way, the stars, the heavens, over this pier walking out to the horizon line and the water, the firmament above and the waters below, and how we walk. There's the deck, the path, how we walk this spiritual master's journey, and achieve mastery, and that we've only just begun to live. Color to technicolor. Number 3 from the unseen, whispers on the wind. Listen. So whispers on the wind. Listen. This has to do with Mercury retrograde. So during this window it just went retrograde, I believe, from the 29th of June till the 23rd of July. We're going to have this window to revisit, and it's retrograde in Cancer. So Mercury is going to give us that ability to revisit many, many, many events, choices, experiences, things of this nature. Whispers on the wind. Listen. Spiritually, whispers on the wind represents a divine message, spiritual presence, or a call to tune into your intuition. Across various traditions, the subtle sound of a breeze encourages you to be still, pay attention to the present moment, and listen to the quiet guidance of the universe. This is about deep soul connection, knowing, soul source connection, knowing, deep knowing. Remember, the truth being revealed. Clarity, how it brings about joy. We're coming to that, joy. But this deep listening, introspection, it's not getting stuck in the past, in revisiting the past. It's not about reliving the past in that way. It's about viewing it to transmute, transcend, to take this leap of faith, be ready to jump, leap. And so experiencing whispers on the wind carries several deep symbolic meanings. It's about divine presence. In many spiritual and biblical traditions, the whispering wind symbolizes the presence of a higher power or the Spirit, Holy Spirit. It serves as a reminder that the divine often speaks in a gentle, quiet breeze rather than a booming voice. This is why you have to fine-tune the dial. The soul, the unseen, the all that is, speaks in a way that is subtle, quiet, internal, this knowing or a pressure. Ego, the mind, is monkeys at the lake. It's loud. Fear is loud. Anxiety is loud. The soul is quiet. Doesn't need to shout. It's the strength card in the tarot. It's the taming of the ego, so that we hear the eternal. That's the infinity symbol over the lion's head in the strength card. So we hear the eternal whispers on the wind, the soul, the unseen. It's about intuition and inner wisdom. The faint voice on the breeze is often linked to your own intuition. It signifies your soul's inner knowledge, gently nudging you in the right direction or encouraging you to trust your gut feelings. This is about trusting what you know, internal know. I'm touching my sternum here. Not what we know, not the mind, the head, the ego. Yes, we use our experience and everything with discernment. However, the knowing, the soul will override that. It'll say, yes, that was your experience. However, this is the truth. Move in this way, this direction. We'll have the ability. Leveling up, the master's journey, mastery, to level up, to follow that, to heed that wisdom, that inner knowing and intuition. It's about messages from the unseen. The wind represents the unseen forces of life. Hearing a whisper suggests that the spiritual realm, or perhaps loved ones who have passed, are trying to bring you comfort, clarity, or reassurance, wisdom, knowing. When you have that knowing, you wake up from a dream, you experience or encounter a smell, a scent that isn't present, that triggers. It can be the unseen speaks in so many ways that are known to us, but completely different than the way we're articulating right now. This verbal exchange that human to humans have. it's subtle, it's telepathic, it comes in ways that are nonverbal knowings. Now, the knowing can be like a complete movie or a complete understanding of something in a second, in a flash. But that's the point. It's to listen to your own wisdom, your own internal guidance, soul source connection, and receive these. And lastly, it's a call to be still. A whisper cannot be heard in chaos. Spiritually, this phenomenon asks you to slow down, disconnect from the busyness of daily life, and quiet your mind so you can receive the message. We can do this in little spurts, or it doesn't have to be big, grand displays of meditation. It can just be a walk in the park, a moment in the grass, with the feet on the grass or something. It can be a quiet 5 seconds or 5 minutes sitting somewhere, but it's to still the mind so that you can hear, fine-tune the dial so you can hear what's emerging. Where are you being guided? What are you to pursue? What are you to release, let go of? These whispers on the wind, listen. And it's going to be much stronger in this kind of 3-week window, because July is a massively pivotal month, astrologically, but universally. This is the moment, the time. Kiki is saying, this week I've heard a lot of the things you've been saying, so there's synchronicity. Yes. And this is how the unseen works with us, yet more importantly, through us. And that becomes your affirmation confirmation. You get a knowing. You're listening. Whispers on the wind. You're listening. And then you'll see something pop up in your social media or in your email or on the television or someone else that you may be watching or following or something. And it's like, I was just literally knowing this, feeling this, knowing this, and boom, XYZ said it. That's affirmation confirmation from the unseen, from your soul. It's the master weaver. There's that beautiful tapestry that's guiding us, that helps us to say, we know this is scary, but guess what? You had this knowing, and you just got this massive confirmation of that knowing. Are you going to listen? Are you going to go as guided? Because this is all about mastery, mastering the journey, overcoming the physical, the material, the ego, not kill it, but overcome it to allow the purity of the soul to come through, to guide, to lead. Number 4, we have Jupiter in Leo. So Jupiter's entering Leo, 13 months. It'll be there for 13 months. And this was all about the 6 of Wands. And the 6 of Wands represents celebration, victory. It has this really auspicious energy of being seen and recognized. It's like that final, finally. So finally things click into place. Finally things are celebrated. Finally there is victory. And that was a big word in last week's show, was victory, and our ability to claim victory. Then we have Mars conjunct Uranus in Gemini. And this is about the sun, but it's also, very importantly, Mars conjunct Uranus. We're going to see both the positive, the light side, and the shadow side of this occurring. This is about explosive advance and action. So Mars conjunct Uranus in Gemini, it's about explosive advance and action. Well, again, the sun in the tarot is the happiest card. And look at the purity, the white horse, the infant, a naked infant, if you will, riding on the purity of a white horse. The sun, the face of the sun is feminine in the Brigitte Ashwood Luminous Tarot deck. The sunflowers, all of this purity and joy. It's the happiest card in the deck. So what the unseen said, number 4, they said Jupiter in Leo, victory, 6 of Wands. Mars conjunct Uranus in Gemini is about explosive advance into action. It's the sun. in the tarot. And they said, we go together like Rama Lama 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 Dingity Ding Dee Dong from Greece. And remember at the end of the movie of Greece with Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta, they're in the convertible at the fair at the high school. And what happens? The car takes flight. It takes off. It's taking them somewhere. It's a very mystical, magical, otherworldly ending or beginning. The ending of high school, the beginning of life, adulthood, life. Well, the ending of the old way, the old earth. And yet we have to show up, right? We have to graduate. It's leveling up. It's this opportunity to take flight, caterpillar to butterfly. It's metamorphosis. It's transmutation, transfiguration, transformation. It's all of these things that are on offer. And we may be asking, well, how does this apply in our everyday lives? The point that the unseen has been saying over and over again, align with these truths. So make in our current moment, where you are right now, we don't have to wait for something to happen. Align with it now in every choice, in every decision. Are we listening? Are we aligning? Are we going as guided? Are we in this 7-11, 117, leveling up, mastery, the master? Are we mastering the journey, the master's journey? Take those steps on a daily basis. As you're doing that, as above, and then above, this whole new world, this emerging world, this new octave of being is coming in to meet us and greet us. So we come in, it's like two parallel streams coming in together. That's where you want to be. That means you're at the tip, not the tail cone. You want to be at the forefront of this change, of this opportunity, of this uplifting. In the movie, those two characters were the two at the forefront, at the tip. That made the way. It was, way showers, beacons of light. There were others that were struggling, that weren't in the flow, weren't in alignment. But that's a choice. So we make the choice to be in alignment. Take the practical steps in your daily life, right where you are, to start advancing yourself, aligning yourself, purifying. That delivers you. It comes together. So, keyword. Our keyword is joy. We have the full moon in this beautiful image with it looks like dandelions and so forth, upreaching, right? Up-leveling, upreaching to this beautiful full moon. And so our keyword of joy. So its definition is an emotion of intense, ecstatic happiness, pleasure, delight, or elation, a deep, long-lasting state of contentment. Spiritually, joy is a deep-seated state of peace, well-being, and alignment with a higher purpose. It's alignment with your soul. Unlike fleeting happiness, which depends on external circumstances, spiritual joy is a resilient inner anchor rooted in faith, gratitude, and connection to the divine. In Christian traditions, joy is considered a fruit of the Spirit, fruit of the Holy Spirit, produced by the Holy Spirit, rather than an emotion you can manufacture. It is tied to grace, salvation, and the knowledge that one is loved by God, by the divine, allowing it to exist even amidst suffering or grief. So it's about allowing joy to exist, to reside within us, to well up within us. It's a choice to allow joy to come through. In Eastern and mindful traditions, joy is seen as the natural, unburdened state of the soul. It arises when you let go of ego, attachments, and illusions, allowing a person to experience deep contentment and oneness with the present moment. Lastly, it's a transcendent strength. Across many practices, spiritual joy is considered a source of spiritual power. It helps individuals navigate life's challenges with grace because its foundation is unshakable. Joy comes about when we stop, we're faced with some confrontation or something we fear or we don't like or change, or when we stop and say, What's the joy in this moment? What's the opportunity? What did my soul say it would do? What did I come here to do? And when we allow that, peace arrives. We see clarity arrives, truth arrives, because we're burning through the illusion of the fear. And then we go, oh, got it. So yes, we still have to quote unquote walk through the fire, but then there's a joy in it because all of a sudden there's a clarity, there's a truth, there's a purity that comes that says, okay. And it may be terrifying. That happens. It can be terrifying. However, there's a knowing. There's the unseen, the guru, the master, the guide, saying, we've got you, we're walking with you. But this is what we came to do. This is what you said you would do. This is what you said you wanted. So the Fool, step forward. The Fool in the tarot, looks like leaving solid ground to step out into nothingness, the unknown, and yet the clouds are right there, the unseen, the clouds, which delivers us. And so it's to do it with joy, confidence, knowing that all is. It will be fine. It is fine and it will be fine. So our keyword of joy. I want to go to our mantra quickly as well. What lies beyond? What lies beyond where we are, where you are as an individual, where we are as a collective whole, humanity? What lies beyond is unknown to us, and yet again, the soul knows. So it is known to us. It's an oxymoron there, but it's known to us from a knowing from inside of us. And that's why when we're challenged to let go of what we know, it's because it's about what lies beyond where we are, who we are. We may have loved where we are, whom we're with, the job, whatever it may be. And yet when that knowing comes that says there's more, and we have to make peace with letting go, it's to expand us. It's to allow us to grow and elevate and ascend. It is not there to harm us or hurt us. It's there to help us, to expand us, to up-level us. And so what lies beyond? An emerging world. What lies beyond where we've been, what we know? An emerging world, a higher octave, a we the people, a unity, a oneness, a wholeness, joy. That's what lies beyond. Are you willing to receive it, claim it, align with it, reach for it? That's what's on offer here. Number 5 denotes change from the unseen, shaking loose our roots to the past. So we have this great shaking loose our roots to the past. Spiritually, this means severing the energetic ties to old identities, traumas, and karmic patterns that keep you stagnant. It's about letting go of the past. It is a process of unearthing deep, unseen soul limitations so you can heal generational wounds and embrace a transformed, unencumbered future. That's Mercury in retrograde. That's whisperings on the wind. This is about looking at these elements. We're being given an opportunity while we're rapidly advancing. July, rapid acceleration, explosive acceleration, advance, action. It's that Rubicon moment. The intentional severing and releasing of these roots carry several core spiritual meanings. It can be about unconscious inherited trauma, can lock us in receptive loops. This can be about past lives, past trauma, what I call a bleed through. And these bleed throughs come in and we're experiencing them. when you see them from a past life, so if you do past life regression work, you will be able to see people, issues, things that are a bleed through. We didn't deal with them in the previous incarnation, so they present themselves again in a different configuration. Just like astrology, it's cyclical, not identical. Well, incarnations, they're cyclical, not identical. And so there's this opportunity to address these, and they can be inherited. They can be from lineage or lifetimes, and thereby that lock us in repetitive loops. Well, shaking loose these ancestral ties allows you to process that residual energy and break the cycle of repeated suffering. Because there's aha moments when we look at the past life, the residue, the residual, the experience, all of a sudden it clicks and you go, oh, that's why this is happening. Oh, that's why this person is playing this role, or that's what this is. And literally it's like something goes click inside of you and you release it. In many theological traditions, the divine shakes our external circumstances, towers, to strip away the superficial, leaving only what is truly eternal and immovable. It shakes us loose from that which is impure or isn't meant to stay with us. Again, it's a choice. Are we willing to let go? This is the mandrakes in the Harry Potter that we've talked so much about. We're being up-leveled. We're being transplanted into larger pots to have a greater, more expansive octave of experience. That transplanting can be uncomfortable. It can be destabilizing. And yet, that old saying, give it a week or two, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I got, I hit the ground running. Yeah, I've got this. I understand. Oh, and there's confidence restored and joy and excitement and happiness. There's fear, anxiety, trepidation in the beginning that transitions into knowing. So we have this where it shakes us and our circumstances to strip away the superficial, leaving only what's eternal and immovable. This exposes cracked foundations and points you towards a stronger spiritual core. Just as trees need a vigorous shake to drop their fruit, our lives are sometimes shaken to detach us from toxic habits, outdated relationships, and dead-end mindsets. This cleanup helps you break free from invisible chains dragging you to battles you've already fought. And lastly, in spiritual transformation, it's about losing your grip on the past and it feels like chaos. This is about shifting perspectives. This crisis is a catalyst for deeper resilience. It forces your spirit to grow a much deeper anchor. So by allowing the shaking loose of our roots to the past, and this is number 5, it's about change. So we're going through a process of being shaken at our core, at our roots. And then they said, it's reset-game-changing time. Well, this game-changing time, a game-changing innovation or idea completely alters the course of a situation, industry, or the way something is traditionally done. By introducing a new factor or technology, it creates a significant paradigm shift that sets a totally new standard. That's what's happening. The unseen, the all that is, as above, so below, is shaking loose our roots to the past, our way of being, doing, thinking, to expand us. It's reset, game-changing time. It's a game-changing time. This is not everyday astrology, everyday life. We've talked about this so much. What has happened in the last 14 to 16 months, let alone the last 6 to 8 months, astrologically, occurrences that some that have not happened in 6,000, 10,000 years. We've talked about this. These are massive, massive shifts above, astrologically. Well, humanity, since time immemorial, has looked to the stars to navigate, to know where they're going. This is why we have all of these monuments to antiquity, like Stonehenge and the pyramids and all these, the ley lines, and there's so many things, temples, so many things, all aligned to the stars, to the heavens. Well, we're being shaking loose our roots to the past. It's reset, game-changing time. It's a game changer. And we happen to be here at this moment to usher in this moment. That's joy. For me, that's joy. To think about the fact that we said we would show up. Our soul said, yes. I mean, how many billions or trillions of, it says, I think biblically, it says that there are as many souls as there are grains of sand and stars in the heavens. And yet these 8 billion are the ones that got to come to Earth to experience this, to usher it in, to participate, to play a role, to receive. Which brings me to number 6 from the unseen, spirit and service. They said all-star lineup. So all-star lineup, mastery at its finest, its best. Next level yow. Well, all-star refers to a highly skilled individual, a team composed of the best performers in a league, or an event featuring these standout individuals. The term originated in sports but is now used broadly to describe anyone or anything that represents the absolute best in their field. These 8 billion souls, whatever the role they're playing, are the best in the field. There's a reason we're all here. Next level is a slang term or idiom used to describe something that is significantly more advanced, better, or of higher quality than what previously existed. It can also mean taking an action or relationship to a more intense or advanced stage. That action or relationship, first and foremost, is with yourself. So this next level, yow, it's taking action, the relationship, your soul source connection relationship, your relationship with your soul, taking it to the next level, to a more intense, advanced stage. It's choice. And yow is slang for excitement or surprise or yes. So it's like saying yes. There's this all-star lineup, as above, the planets lining up. I mean, Saturn and Neptune coming together at the 0-degree Aries point, not in 6,000 years. There's no recorded history of what happened. This all-star lineup, all the outer planets, generational, that speak to the generational arc, the arc of destiny, all changing signs within a very tight time frame. This is an all-star lineup. The unseen, the all that is, and the divine, an all-star lineup. We 8 billion souls, an all-star lineup. Mastery at its finest, its best. Next level, yow. This is the next level and the higher octave. And lastly, but not least, is number 7 from the unseen this week is, they said, pure perfection. Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. They keep saying this to it. They keep bringing it to me. Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. That ain't nothing like the real thing. The real thing, original intelligence, the divine, source, the all that is, coming through you, your soul. There's nothing like the real thing, baby. So there's all this talk about artificial intelligence and reliance on it and everything. That's fine. It's a tool. However, the unseen keeps hammering home to us, ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. And so, pure perfection. In spiritual traditions, pure perfection does not mean being flawless or entirely without mistakes. Instead, it points to a state of wholeness, spiritual maturity, and alignment with a higher power. So this isn't about being perfect. It's about being good, pure, aligned, whole, mature, listening to your soul source connection. It is about having a pure heart, genuine intentions, and living in constant compassionate connection with the divine. It's about maturity and completion. In many ancient texts, perfect, so pure perfection, perfect translates to being fully developed or mature in your spiritual character. It is about reaching your intended purpose rather than being without flaw. That's the master's journey, mastering the ego, the self, the human, and that we've only just begun to live. We're just reaching it, and they're going to come in at the same time we're coming in. It's about wholeness and integrity. It represents a state of complete spiritual integration where your inner motives, your mind and character are aligned with divine values like unconditional love, patience, and compassion. It's about the purity of intentions. Rather than striving for impossible human perfectionism, the spiritual path centers on having pure intentions and a clean conscience. It means acting from a place of love rather than ego or fear. We often speak about what's the purity of your intention. And when you're faced with a situation or you want to do something, and you get that knowing that it's shadow, dark, illicit, ask yourself, what's the purity of my intention? If it's not pure, pardon me, you have an opportunity to stop and pivot, to correct yourself, to go about it in a pure manner. If it's meant to be, it will be. Pardon me, that got me tickled. And lastly, reflection of the divine. So pure perfection. Spiritual teachings emphasize that we reflect the divine, often called reflecting God, the divine, by extending radical, forgiving love to others, including those who may be difficult. In loving others, we love ourselves. In loving ourselves, we're able to love others. Hurt people hurt people. We talked about that last week. Well, okay. So this is about extending radical, forgiving love to others. It doesn't mean that we have to forget, we can forgive, we don't have to forget. It doesn't mean that we allow bad behavior to continue. People only treat you the way you allow them to. Well, however, this is about not being stuck or staying in the wound or the event or the hurt or the pain of something. It's to move beyond it. It's playing a role. Can we see that? Will we see that? And then extend and get to the place when we extend that radical forgiveness and love, when we actually see the pearl, the gift that was through the pain, we genuinely get to a place where you can say, thank you. Namaste. I bow to the divine in you. Thank you for playing the role so that I could see or experience X. There will be Y, Z, A, B, D. I mean, you will see, you will get many, in other words, the event, the wisdom, the gift, the pearl will continue to unfold, to flower. But it's about pure perfection. Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. It is about extending this radical forgiveness and love to others. When we do that, we're giving it to ourselves. And that is priceless. That is a gift that no one else can give us. We have to give it to ourselves. So put a big bow on all of this, and I'm going to post, because there are the astrology from Pam Young, it's at North Point Journal, and astrologer Chani Nicholas, and astrology by Lauren. I'm going to post these on the Dearjames Facebook thread for the show today. They have, and especially astrology by Lauren, she has a very detailed, in-depth write-up about Mercury retrograde, the Capricorn full moon, Jupiter in Leo, and the Mars conjunct Uranus, and this cradle that is coming up in mid-July. It's the 19th of July. It really incredible, that speaks to all of this. It's just to say to everyone, There's an emerging world. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Looking through the looking glass, what lies beyond, move beyond the surface. There's clarity, there's truth, there's up-leveling, there's joy. Whispers on the wind, listen. The unseen, the all that is shaking us loose from the roots of the past for this major reset, this game-changing time. And this crossing of the Rubicon, there's no turning back. We don't want to turn back. We want to go forward. And how we literally have the Six of Wands, victory, celebration, the Sun, happiest card in the tarot, pardon me, and the Fool. This wonderful, pure willingness to connect and listen and go as guided. My gosh, they're tickling my throat. Love you all. Thank you so much for being here each and every week and sharing your life, your energy, your wisdom with us all. And I just, before we close, want to give a shout out to one of our most beautiful soul family members. Happy birthday, Miss Heather. And we will see you all next week.
You've been listening to Dearjames Live. Gain intuitive insight, answers, and advice to your life questions and so much more by tuning in next week and visiting dearjames.com.